Welcome to an exciting new episode. Today, we're exploring how large language models, or LLMs, are transforming the legal industry. From automating routine tasks to reshaping how legal professionals work, these advancements are revolutionizing the field. Get ready to dive into the future of legal tech. Welcome to this episode of Legal Tech with AlphaLect.
We're diving into legal stuff, but with a futuristic AI twist.
Oh, yeah, it's a huge deal. AI is totally changing the game in law, and it's happening so fast.
I know, right? It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So for those of us who haven't been cramming law textbooks, what exactly are these LLMs? They sound kind of sci-fi.
Okay, so picture this. It's like having this super smart assistant that's read every legal document ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking systems that can analyze contracts, research case law, even predict how a judge might rule. It's crazy fast.
No kidding. That's impressive.
Yeah.
But okay, how does this actually work in a real legal situation? Say contract review seems like a big one from what I've read.
Yeah, contract review is a perfect example. So imagine a company needs to analyze a massive contract for risks, right? In the past, you'd have a whole team of lawyers spending weeks or even months going through every single line. But now with LLMs, you can get that same analysis done in hours, maybe even minutes. It's a huge difference in time and money.
So instead of billing you for weeks, they just hit a button and charge you for 5 minutes. That doesn't seem fair to the lawyers, does it?
Well, hold on. It's not about replacing lawyers completely. It's more like giving them these super powerful tools so they can work smarter, not harder. You know what I mean? They can handle the boring, tedious stuff while the human lawyers focus on the bigger strategy and those tricky nuances that AI can't quite grasp yet.
So it's like having a super-powered paralegal at your fingertips. But how do we know these AI systems are actually getting it right? This is serious stuff. We're talking about people's lives here, not proofreading a blog post or something.
That's the big question. And the research is pretty interesting. It shows that LLMs are already really good at finding legal issues in contracts. Sometimes they even do better than experienced lawyers. But they're not perfect, of course. Human oversight is still super important. It's more about lawyers and AI working together to get the best outcome possible.
That makes sense. So it's not like robots taking over courtrooms. It's more about lawyers having these amazing tools to help them do their jobs better and faster. But what does this mean for the average person who needs legal help? Will this make legal services more accessible and affordable?
That's definitely the hope. And it's one of the most exciting parts of this whole LLM thing. You see, if legal work gets done more efficiently, then those savings could be passed on to clients. This could be a game changer for people who couldn't afford good legal help before. Imagine a world where even small businesses and regular people have access to these sophisticated legal tools and advice.
Okay, that does sound pretty revolutionary. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've talked a lot about contract review, but what other areas of law are being impacted by LLMs? Is this happening everywhere, or is it mostly just for corporate law?
LLMs could potentially change pretty much every area of law. Think about legal research, for example. Lawyers spend hours and hours digging through tons of case law to find precedents that support their arguments. LLMs can do that in seconds, sifting through these massive databases and pulling out the most relevant info.
Wow. So it's like having a legal genie that grants you any case you want that would save lawyers so much time and stress.
Exactly. And that time saved can be used for more strategic thinking and actually talking to their clients, which is really what good legal representation is all about, right?
Yeah. It's really cool to see how this tech is growing and changing. And it's not just about making lawyers' lives easier. Think about how these LLMs could help people understand all that legal stuff that can be super confusing and scary.
Totally.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out a lease agreement or how to even file a small claims case. It's overwhelming.
Right, exactly. LLMs could be used to make those user-friendly things that explain legal stuff in plain language,
Yeah.
and guide people through those steps and even make personalized legal documents. So it's like having this virtual legal guide that walks you through everything and makes sure you understand what's happening. That could be huge for access to justice.
Yeah.
Especially for people who can't afford a lawyer.
For sure. And it can help with those crazy court backlogs too, make the whole system more efficient and effective.
Okay. I'm seeing how this could really change the legal system for the better, give everyone a fair shot. But what about the lawyers themselves? We talked about how LLMs will change how they work, but could it also change the skills they need to be successful?
Oh, definitely. It's going to change what it takes to be a good lawyer. The traditional legal knowledge is always going to be important, of course. But lawyers will need to be good with tech too and comfortable working with AI.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing how to use these powerful tools to your advantage. What's that look like in real life?
Well, for one thing, lawyers will need to be good at analyzing what the LLMs come up with, understanding like their strengths and weaknesses and knowing when to trust the AI and when to use their own judgment.
So you can't just blindly accept whatever the AI spits out. You still need critical thinking and human intuition to make the right call.
Exactly. Lawyers will also need to be good at talking to clients about AI, explaining how it's being used in their case and addressing any concerns they might have.
Right, because some people might be like hesitant to trust a machine with their legal stuff. Transparency and communication are key. But all this talk about AI makes me wonder, could lawyers become too reliant on these tools and lose those human skills that make them good lawyers in the first place?
It's a good point. It's super important to remember that LLMs are meant to help human lawyers, not replace them. The human element is always going to be crucial in law, especially when it comes to things like empathy, talking to clients, and understanding those nuances of human behavior and motivation.
So it's like a partnership. Each side brings its own strength. The AI handles the data and research, and the lawyer brings the human touch and strategic thinking.
Exactly. And that partnership can lead to some really amazing results. You're combining the efficiency and power of AI with the wisdom and experience of human lawyers.
I like it. I'm getting excited about the possibilities here.
Yeah.
But let's switch gears for a second and talk about one area where LLMs are already making a big splash: predictive analysis. From what I've read, this seems to be a hot topic in the legal world.
It is. It's one of the most fascinating things about LLMs in law. Basically, predictive analysis uses AI to predict what's going to happen in legal cases based on past data and trends.
So it's like a crystal ball that tells you if you'll win your case or what kind of settlement you might get.
In a way, yeah. But of course, it's not perfect. But it can give lawyers some really valuable insights to help them make better decisions and come up with more effective strategies.
That sounds super helpful.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to decide whether to go to trial or settle.
For sure. Predictive analysis can also be used to spot potential legal problems before they even happen. Helping businesses and people avoid those expensive lawsuits.
So it's not just about winning cases, it's about preventing them in the first place. That's like next level preventative law.
It is. It shows how LLMs can change how we think about and deal with the law. It's not just reacting to problems anymore. It's about predicting and stopping those risks before they become huge issues.
That's powerful. And it sounds like LLMs are giving lawyers a whole new toolbox to be more proactive and strategic in how they practice law.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be in the legal field. I can't wait to see how these technologies keep evolving and shaping the future of law.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how much these AI systems could change things. But let's zoom out for a minute. We talked about lawyers and clients, but what about the whole legal system? How could LLMs change that?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's something legal experts are really trying to figure out right now. One of the biggest things could be access to justice.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where anyone, no matter how much money they have or where they live, could get basic legal info and advice through AI.
That sounds kind of like a dream. Equal access to justice for everyone? Is that really possible?
It could be. LLMs could help make things fairer by giving affordable legal help to people who couldn't afford it before.
So instead of needing expensive lawyers, people could use these AI tools to write simple contracts or figure out basic legal stuff or even get help with small claims court. It's like having a lawyer in your pocket.
Exactly. And that could totally change how people deal with the legal system, make it less scary and more user-friendly.
Wouldn't that be a problem for lawyers? If everyone has these AI tools, what happens to the human lawyers?
It's a good question, and it's something the legal profession needs to think about. It's likely that some things lawyers do now will be automated, which could change the job market.
So it's not just about lawyers getting a cool new gadget. It's about a possible fundamental change in how the whole legal system works.
Yeah, it could be a huge shift, but AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used in good ways or bad ways. The way LLMs affect the legal system depends on how we use them.
All right, so it's not just the technology, it's the choices we make about how to develop it and use it. Are there any efforts to make sure LLMs are used ethically and responsibly in the legal system?
Definitely. There's a growing movement in the legal and tech world to deal with the ethical side of AI in law. Things like making guidelines for responsible use, making sure things are transparent and accountable, and dealing with potential biases in the algorithms.
That's good to hear. It sounds like people are taking this seriously and trying to make it safe. But, tech moves fast, sometimes faster than regulations. Is there a risk that we might fall behind in dealing with the risks?
It's a valid concern. We need to be careful. The development of AI is moving so quickly. We have to stay ahead of the game when it comes to ethics and regulations.
So it's like a race. We're trying to use the power of this amazing technology that also makes sure it's used to benefit everyone.
Exactly. It's a tough balance, but we need to find it if we want a future where AI makes the legal system better and makes justice more accessible.
I think we've covered a lot today, from like the basics of how LLMs work to how they could impact lawyers and clients and the whole legal system. It's been really interesting. I think this is just the start of the conversation.
I agree. The world of AI and law is changing so fast. There's so much more to talk about and explore.
So to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What do you think about AI in law? Are you excited? Are you worried? Share your thoughts and let's keep talking. We're all in this together, and we all have a role in shaping the future of law in a way that works for everyone.